Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Global Med Talks. I'm your host Haider Ali, and if you're new here, this is just a podcast where we talk about medical life, medical student life, studying abroad and everything in between. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got plenty of guest speakers here. Some of them you've seen before and some of them are brand new. So Zain, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Zain Idris. I'm a fifth year medical student here in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Oh, is it me? Hi, my name's Umar. I'm a long-term resident of Technical University here in Tbilisi. I've been friends with Haider for a very long time. I've known Abdul-Aziz for a while as well, and Zain's here too.
All right, yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone, they might know who I am already. So I've been here for a while, 4 years, and yeah, I'm in European University, and yeah, pretty much we're doing a podcast where we're just gonna chat a lot of stuff about what it's like to be a student abroad. I don't know, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some stuff that needs to be talked about, especially you probably heard some stuff on social media about UK prioritisation, for example, and you're probably thinking, what's the best next step? And I'm going to ask these guys some questions about some random other stuff as well, so plenty of stuff planned. So, first of all, guys, Zain, how are you finding studying medicine abroad?
It's a lot of self-studying, basically. Like our university generally, in general, provides a pretty good standard of education, but the timelines that like we study on is a bit different than the uni provides.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like sometimes you might have to just do most of the studying yourself, without much assistance from outside, or from doctors or in general. But yeah, so far there's been a lot of just basically self-studying, and that's all.
Just for the audience, like we go to different unis, innit?
Yeah.
So obviously my university is different from yours, but would you say that the level of teaching is pretty much the same, or do you think there's a huge difference?
From what I've heard from my friends who also go to different unis, it's all pretty much, I feel like, standardized. We all basically go through the same theory,
Yeah.
and we go through the same practicals, basically, from fourth year to final year. So it's all standardized. It's all good. Of course, some people say this is worse than this is better than that, but
I feel like
think in general,
there's minor differences in it,
Yeah,
but like
Yeah, like you guys are from Uni of Georgia, innit?
Yes.
Like you in the lift earlier, you were saying, like you said, you do essays and you do what is it?
Yes,
you do essays
so
and presentations for
we
everyone.
have to
We
write
don't.
essays.
Yeah, we don't really do like essays for every one of our subjects. So that's something that's different between our unis. So I
oh,
don't
you
know,
guys
like,
don't have like essays?
no.
or-
So we don't like the most we do is like presentations where we have to make like a PowerPoint slide, but we
Yeah.
never get told to like go home and write essays about stuff. Our presentation, like they'll say, come, go home, do the presentation, make it like on whatever app you're gonna use, and then just present it in front of the class. But we very rarely, like the only one that we have recently is like the scientific reasoning one, where we have to like do like a narrative review at home.
or a
But-
system or
yeah,
whatever,
something
yeah.
like. But other than that, we haven't really had essays. Like that's different about you. So like, how does that work in your uni?
Well, I mean, from the very first subject of first semester, like towards the end of the semester, we have a week of presentations where we'll get given a topic from the doctor, wherever it is. We'll have to make a presentation and present it to the class, and then we'll also have to do an accompanying Word document, like 2 to 3 pages.
Yeah.
It's not too big a deal. I think as you get along and the more you do,
Yeah.
you get used to it. And then, to be honest, sometimes you can just repeat certain ones depending on the subject. So it's not too bad, and it gives us an opportunity to get more marks as well.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
It is half the marks of our final, basically.
Yeah,
No,
but
it is like half the mark of our. So we have a presentation, and it's usually half the mark of it is the actual presentation, and the other half is the Word document
Oh,
that
right,
you have to
okay.
do.
Yeah. I mean, like studying abroad, people say it's easy in it, but I feel like our uni does challenge us and push us quite a bit when it comes to like preparing for like oral presentations. Because oral presentation, I think this is quite new. Because in UK they don't really do orals like that.
Well, like the oral surveys. Or,
The oral surveys. So
That's hard, you know. That's
Yeah, it is
That's
hard.
not easy
but
because-
I feel like it's good because it keeps you on your toes in a way.
yeah.
Because like you only need to be studying, whereas in the UK, well, in my UK university anyway, you could just go home, study at your own pace, and just do the exam at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But here, it's like you need to study every single day, and if you don't, you're gonna get caught out,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's gonna be
Like
consequences.
They give you deadlines. Like they
Yeah.
will say to you, you have this oral. Like you can't not study for it. You have to study for it. You have to go to that class. If you don't, you're gonna look like a bit of an idiot when you turn up, and like
Yeah,
everybody else
exactly.
knows what's going on, and you don't even know like the basic information from that lecture or whatever was taught. So it's
Exactly,
probably same in your
Yeah.
unis as well, isn't it?
It was really hard to adapt to in the beginning. I remember. It
Yeah.
was like basically a seminar every single day. every single day. So you'd have to sit down, finish your classes for the day, finish whatever lectures you have. The day after, you'd come back home. So like right after your classes, you come back home. You have to study for the next day, and then it's just like cycle. And the days where you have classes on Saturday, for example, you have one day off where you don't study of the week.
Exactly.
People think that it's like a bit of a joke, like when you're out here, like as much as the exams might be easy because you might have like questions to study from or like they're multiple choice questions. The fact is, a lot of these multiple choice answers are pretty similar if you don't know the information properly. Like for example, what I normally do, because they make you like take your passport or some ID into the thing, because it's on the computer, what I do is I'll cover the answers with my passport and I'll read the question out and I'll think in my head, like I'll try and get an answer prepared to see if I know it without the multiple choice answers. And then as soon as I uncover the question, if I see the answer there that I thought of, then I already know that that's probably the right answer. So
people second guess a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, because like when you see these answers and you're like, oh yeah, but I heard this one and maybe it's this, but maybe it's the answer for another question. Then you start doubting yourself. And that's harder than actually like doing open questions, because open questions you either know it or you don't. But when you think you know the answer and then it gives you options that are pretty similar and you're like, hang on, maybe I don't know the answer. That's different.
That's the thing about med school. Like there could be more than one correct answer as well, but it's like which answer is more correct. Like which is the best, which is the single best answer.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That it gets a bit annoying like that. What about you, Umar? What's your experience with exams and stuff?
Well, I'm a bit lazy compared to you boys, but I think the oral seminars that we have are good because you have to revise. Like he's already said, you have to revise regardless. You can't just turn up and expect to get marks. Obviously, some doctors are more strict than others, so some are a bit more lenient. But I'm in rotations now, so I remember for dermatology last semester, every single day we had oral seminars. But then other classes, for example, I'm in pediatrics now, we have oral discussion, but we don't really have like oral, like it's not actually like scored and there's no written exams.
So what do you mean by like discussion?
Like for example, the doctor might say, tomorrow read up about atopic dermatitis.
Right.
Then we'll go to class and then before we do ward rounds, for example, we'll have a little discussion. She'll assess whether we've actually done some reading. But for example, in neurology, which was really strict, we had oral and we had written exams, which were graded out of 5 marks, I think. And she was really strict about that. So it just depends on what type of doctor you have. But overall, I think it's quite good that we have oral seminars.
Actually, one thing that you just said, what I want to know, because we're in different unis, what's the most experience that you've actually had with patients? Because for us, I think ours was probably cardio. We were in the same class for cardio, it was probably when we actually got to do ECGs. Like you got to do. Was it?
I think
a couple of people got to do ECG. I think you did it.
Pressures,
you got to actually take them off the patients. Like you were doing it on the patient. So the doctor would go explain to them and then you would actually carry it out. So that was like pretty good because we only do it on mannequins really. And then when we went to cardio, we were actually doing it. So I don't know like what sort of, because you do different rotations in different orders as well. So what sort of stuff?
Now what's the clinical exposure?
Basically.
Okay, for us, the most clinical exposure I think I've had it's definitely between cardio or surgery 1, which was like I remember cardio, our doctor would let us and she would basically we were kind of repeating the same thing, but we did it so often that it kind of stuck in like to our heads. Like we would do she would help us read ECGs. She would of course just give us the general lecture. She would always get patients in, and we would like our class was kind of big, so we'd split up into a few groups. So some people come at a later time or something, and then it used to be 3-4 people in the room. So the doctor would let us get our stethoscopes and listen to specific sounds that she hears, crackles, whatever we're trying to listen to on the patient. And she'd also show us. And the best thing I think she showed us was our doctor showed us was how to do an echocardiogram, like a cardiac ultrasound basically. So the cardiac ultrasound in the beginning it was just a bit repetitive. Every time she would just show us, it just didn't look like it didn't make like it's. Imagine your first time looking at an ultrasound. It just looks weird.
I was looking at it. I was like,
what's going on
here? She looks at it and she's like, I know exactly what's wrong. I'm like, bro, this is just like someone's colored it in here. Like shaded. I'm like, bro, what's going on here?
She would legit just do it and she'd be like, oh yeah, here, boom, boom. She does some weird math. Oh, here's the ejection fraction.
And then
here's this, here's that.
When they switch the setting,
what's going on?
When they switch the setting and they turn on the Doppler one and then it's like they see the colors going and they're like,
this is regurgitation. So how do you tell it's regurgitation?
How do you see it? Yeah, so In the beginning I was like, oh, what the hell is this? You know, I didn't really understand it. But then when I went on to the next summer, like the summer of last year, basically when I did my observership back in my back in Qatar, it helped me out a lot because over there basically they just kind of let you have a free reign.
Free reign, yeah.
Yeah, they let you do whatever. So the doctor would be like,
Yeah.
listen, if you don't know something, listen, watch a YouTube video and just go in the room and help the patient out. I was like, okay, well, like I would take history, I'll do, and the echocardiogram really helped me as well. So I learned how to do the different positions and to look at the different chambers, how to look at the different chambers from different angles. So it was very useful. And surgery, it was just like we just go in and we just do a lot of we would just see. It wasn't really surgery. It was more like procedures, like colonoscopies and things like that. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was pretty cool as well. And off the top of my head, I think that's it. What about you?
Well, if you notice, when you talk about cardiology, I stayed quiet because that's one of my worst subjects, which I don't really enjoy. But what have I... Well, obstetrics rotation last semester, for the first time in my life, I turned up early to class, right? And the doctor says, right, there's a woman giving birth upstairs. Put your scrubs on, let's go. I said, huh? He said, yeah, man, let's go. So me and I think some other guy, we just turn up and there's a woman there in stirrups. She's just giving birth. Natural birth? I was like, whoa. Yeah. And then, so stood there for about, it was quite quick, half an hour. And she'd given birth. Obviously, I didn't get hands-on. I don't think I wanted to get hands-on. But, you know, that was good.
Yeah. Do not look weird. Like the baby flopping, like the baby when they just get...
That's the beauty of life. I was mesmerized.
Bro, it was scary when I first came out. I remember just looking at this baby just flopping and looking
I haven't seen a thingy. I haven't seen a natural birth, but I saw a C-section.
Yeah, we saw a C-section.
So but that one was mental because when you see how they actually do it, and you're like...
It's like they go in the
like they're proper, like, they did, because they said when the water breaks, you have like 1 minute. Until you have 1 minute to take the baby out. Otherwise, the baby's gonna like die, they can't breathe. So when the water broke, it came out like a fountain because they obviously made like one cut, and then the water broke, so then it like came out of that cut, and we nearly got like projectiles. So there's like fluid all over the floor, and then we just stood there in our scrubs, like 8 of us, and we just watching it happen. And then these guys were like fully cutting, ripping, like going crisscross, and then just like opening the layers, and then pretty much they pulled the baby out, and it was like, I'm not joking, it was like like the chickens that these guys are selling on the side of the road. It looks like when they pull it out by the legs and they pull it out and the baby wasn't crying. So we were like, oh, what's going on here? So then they took it to the side and they like did the little bit of the resuscitation and they got the fluid out, and then the baby started crying, and they were like, this always, like, most of the time they're not crying when you pull them out, so you have to do it quickly. All of that happened within like 45 seconds, and I was like, bro, this is like mental. Like, that was the first time I was like, you know what? I definitely want to be doing medicine. Like after this, I definitely want to be a doctor.
I feel like this is the sort of things that med students need to see as well. And obviously we need to be thankful for all the patients that are allowing us to see this, because we need to ask for permission first, obviously. And there's something, it's like a light bulb switch moment in your head. That
when you actually see it.
Yeah, when you actually see stuff happening in real life. And then you're like, okay, this is why I want to do medicine.
All that theory actually becomes
all that theory comes
evident,
into practice, and then you find out how important medicine actually is. It's not just studying PowerPoints at home.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there's actually, it's really important. So it's quite good actually.
Yeah, it had the opposite effect for me, man.
Really?
Certain rotations, isn't it?
That's the thing,
for me, it was the ripping. When they started ripping and the sound.
You can hear it. Like it sounds like
hear it like
it sounds if I was to like grab this blanket and just rip it.
Please don't.
I won't do it, but
No, but what theory is put into practice when I watched hemorrhoid surgery?
What do you mean?
When I did my surgery rotation for 1 week, and every day I just saw hemorrhoid surgery. I don't know about the theory there.
No, man. Like, let's see that smell. You remember that smell?
I got hungry after it.
Oh, to be fair, I watched a diabetic foot one, and it smells like a dish that we do, that people do make in our culture.
What?
When you cook it's called pai. And when people cook the animal,
like the trotters?
the trotters, and it's like a dish that people have. That's what it smells like.
You eat that, don't you?
What the hell?
Well, like cow foot and sheep foot.
Oh, cow foot, yeah.
It's like it makes like a curry, and it's like the bone marrow that's inside it. It has a really nice taste.
Like?
When they were they chopped off the guy's toe, and then they were cauterizing the flesh and stuff, and that's what it smelled like. It smells like that when you're cooking it.
Yeah.
It's just
I don't know.
I feel like some people realize that surgery is not for them. When they do their surgery?
Yeah, when you realize pretty quickly. Like
some people, I know a guy, he was a med student, and he goes, I don't want to do medicine anymore because I can't stand the sight of blood.
Yeah.
So how are you realizing this now?
It's an actual thing though. Some people have like a I forgot the name of it. It's like the moment they see blood, they just pass out.
Yeah,
the moment they see blood, I forgot
that vasovagal syncope
Yeah,
or
but
something.
you can still be a doctor.
Yeah, but just don't
Like
be
a GP, you can be
GP,
something that's not
Yeah,
gonna.
but I don't know.
cardiologist,
Maybe
you don't know.
I mean there were probably other factors as well. innit?
Probably,
but
yeah.
that was probably like the
main
typical.
one,
Nah, the guy just made it.
No,
he was
yeah.
just an excuse.
Yeah, he wasn't serious.
He failed.
Surgery is the life, man.
Yeah.
But not
The surgery is good,
Certain
man,
types of surgery,
surgery.
not all
No,
types.
the money with surgery is good.
The money with surgery
Yeah.
is nice.
That's where the
beautiful.
real.
That's a beauty.
Yeah, but you gotta ask yourself why you want to do surgery as well. Because nothing. Listen, for surgery, sometimes you gotta get up at 3 a.m., leave your family, go to the hospital, go do a surgery on a patient. No amount of money can, say.
I don't know about that.
Listen,
No,
by the-
I
by
think
the-
that-
You give me enough money. You give me
Enough
enough money.
money.
I'll
Listen,
get up
I'll
on
wake
my
up
now and go.
I think
Listen,
there's
24 hours, no problem. I'll sleep.
No, for me, it's the reason. It's the reason why behind it.
Why? What would
No,
you-
but it depends
what
on
would
the
you
type of
rather be
surgeon
doing?
you are. It depends on the type of surgeon. If
I
you're
would
like-
love to do surgery,
What type of surgery?
cardiothoracic.
Yeah,
Oh,
so of course you're gonna be coming at
oh.
3
You're
a.m.
gonna be there for
Of
10
course
hours.
you're gonna be at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
To
So
be
what's the
fair, that brings us onto another important point. Like let's say cardiothoracic surgery in
Yeah.
the UK, about the prioritization and
Yeah,
what you're gonna do
obviously.
after.
Yeah.
Oh,
I might have to
you're
do-
not surgery anytime soon. I don't know what you're on about.
No,
'Cause-
but like obviously I'm gonna open my options in it. So
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
with the UK prioritization, the first time I'm mentioning on my podcast. So I'll give you like the basic fundamentals of it. Basically, UK are now prioritizing UK graduates over IMGs, which in my opinion
Is the right thing to do.
Makes
is
sense.
the right
Yeah.
thing to do.
It
It
is
makes
the right
sense
thing to do, yeah.
because like
Yeah.
there's a lot of UK graduates and a lot of UK foundation doctors that are not getting jobs. Like some of them are my friends as well, and
Yeah.
they were really smart people. Like, and it's kind of sad to see that your friends who have they went to UK med school and now they're not getting jobs. So it's kind of sad to see that.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's the right thing to do. For us IMGs, we're just gonna have to either find other options.
Or firm it, like, and
Or-
it's gonna take a very long time
Yeah,
for us
or
to.
it's gonna take a very long time. You could get a job, work as a healthcare assistant, get your portfolio points up, or you have to do like an FY3, FY4, FY5 even, just to say that you've got a significant amount of experience, which I haven't really clarified
Yeah,
yet.
that's something that. Well, that's the thing. We don't want to be in a position where we're waiting on legislation to
Yeah.
decide what we're gonna do. So, look, right now we're in fourth year. You're in fifth year.
Yeah.
So we can like pretty much start preparing for the exam. Like it's not at the end of when you come abroad, you do realize that the UK is just like one place where you could study and you could work.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously there's gonna be push and pull factors
Yeah.
like with everything. Like your family is there, it's gonna be moving away from everything you know. But realistically, like I don't know when it came for you guys, but after 4 years abroad, I kind of feel like I don't really care where I go. Like you get that feeling in it. Like
Yeah.
just because your family are in one place, it doesn't mean that that's where you have to
Yeah.
be for the rest of your
And
life.
to be honest, like even if we did manage to get into the UK, we're still gonna get displaced, for our foundation training.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're gonna be living with your parents anyway.
That's the thing. Like this is one thing. You know what? Really, I try not to laugh because I know it's at the end of the day, it is real people. But I saw so many TikTok videos. It was when they were getting when these UK grads were getting the places for their prioritization,
Yeah.
and there were people like really upset that they got their 11th choice, and they were like, "Oh, I have to go to like Yorkshire and the Humber," and they were upset because they had to move like 3 hours away from their family, 3 hours away, like in the same country. And I was just thinking, like, realistically, if there's any IMGs that apply for this that are from the UK, like UK,
They'll be alright
UK,
with
yeah, like send us to Scotland. We don't care.
I should send
Like-
me to the moon. Send me to the moon and I'll go to the As long as I'm getting a job, I'll go now. No,
Like, that's another thing. Like, it's just different for like it depends on the experiences that you've had. Obviously, if we've been sent here for 6 years, then anywhere in the UK is a blessing for us. Let's be honest. So
Yeah.
that's another thing that we need to consider. But then there's other exams like you've tried to prepare a lot for like USMLE Step 1. Like, there's a lot of effort that goes into that.
You know what's funny? I was on Reddit yesterday and I saw a guy who is a Georgia graduate who passed the AMC 1.
Wait,
doing
is that for
Australia.
Okay.
He passed it. So I thought in the beginning, like it's a long process. Like it's like getting all your documents verified and everything. And the guy talked on the thread about it, and it was very quick. He graduated October 2025, and he passed the AMC now. He passed the AMC like a month ago.
So then what happens? You pass the one.
You
step
pass one,
and then-
start applying for jobs. No, so so from what I understood from his thread is he passed.
Yeah.
He's gonna do his internship now.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming he's an Australia resident. I'm assuming.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But he went to Georgia Med School.
Yeah, he did. Like he studied here in
Oh,
Georgia.
okay.
He studied here in Georgia. So I'm assuming he'll probably do his internship. And while he's doing his internship, he can apply for jobs. You can apply for jobs after AMC 1.
Yeah.
But the chances of them taking you is very little.
Does Australia have the same system where they have to prioritize the Australian graduates first and then Australian people abroad,
Yeah.
and then the international medical
But
graduates.
yeah, so the only difference is Australia is pretty much like the UK 10 years ago,
Okay.
from the general consensus, right? So people who are Australian graduates, from what I see online, is they usually get placed in the city, like in the cities. Like there's five major cities: Canberra, Perth, I don't know,
Yeah.
Melbourne, Sydney.
yeah, Melbourne, Sydney, and they get placed in the cities. But where you, as an IMG, will probably get placed is probably on the outback, bro, far away from society.
Whoa.
A town, 10,000 people in the whole town. You're probably the only doctor in there.
Yeah.
You know, you got placed somewhere far away, but you have to start somewhere, like,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And the job market, like, if you go,
And can you always change afterwards?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, of course.
well,
The more you progress, the more you do, the probably the closer you do move to the city. Like, you're not actually moving so far away from the city. You're like maybe 2 hours away.
Okay.
Okay, but you have to remember the cities are a bit like spaced apart.
Yeah.
But like you're not moving so far away, but you're probably gonna move into smaller like towns, basically.
Yeah. That's like a similar thing with the USMLE and like international graduates. There's obviously because they've got different laws in different states. That's what's
Yeah.
one of the benefits, because there's certain places that I've been speaking to people like North Carolina, New Jersey, New York. Those places are really IMG friendly. But even if you don't get a high enough score like 270, like 260 and above in your step 2, then
That's a
That's
crazy
really
score.
high.
that's a really high.
crazy score.
Even
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't get that, you will still get places, but it's going to be
Yeah.
like what you just said.
Yeah,
like,
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to be not
Bro,
uh,
in
Illinois,
America,
Ohio.
Yeah, yeah.
no,
That's where
you're
you're
not getting placed there with 260.
I'm
brother.
going London
No,
Hill.
you're not
I
going
told
to
you
London
New York, I'm going now.
You're not going.
what? So what would be like a tool
Umar,
that
if
what
you
you
get
get
into
sent
New
to
York, yeah, I'll buy you a new phone.
You phone, I don't need
Come
my
on, bro.
phone. No, me and Zay, we're going to go Australia, we're going to chill.
We're gonna
with
chill
the
Australia.
kangaroos.
24 hours away from the family.
I don't think I can do Australia.
No, that's too far away. 24 hours is ridiculous.
Australia
Why
is
so
too
bothered, bro?
far.
You've been 6 years away from your family. Why are you worried now?
I wanna
24
I
hours
wanna
is a
be
long
with my
time to
family.
travel. Like,
It's 24 hours from the UK, from Qatar, how long?
Probably longer.
Is it?
just fly the other way around.
It doesn't matter,
because
man.
there's
I'm not sure. It probably can't be that long. Listen, man.
Listen, don't worry.
You have to sacrifice
You
something.
put your
you have
faith,
to.
you put your faith in your Lord,
100%.
and that's all you can do.
100%.
But
You
you have
know-
to prepare. You have to tie
Yeah,
your
you have to.
camel.
You know what? I got asked a question because I went to go do this open day for for an agency, and I was doing a presentation there, and the parents, like, I had to do it in front of the parents. So they were asking me questions at the end, and one of the questions that they asked me, he goes, if you could, like, if you went back in time, if you had the opportunity to go back and do medicine in the UK or do medicine in your home country, whatever, would you have taken it? Yes or no?
That's a good question.
And I'll let you lot say what you would have said, because
Me personally, I would stay in the UK. Look, but back then in hindsight, obviously, if I was
Hindsight's
in
a
that
very powerful thing,
situation,
yeah.
if I was in that situation, and if I got an offer to study medicine wherever it is in the UK, I'd say yeah, no problem. Only because of the job opportunities back in the UK as well afterwards, and obviously the teaching. is
yeah.
better.
Now that we
Yeah.
now that we know like the legislation and stuff now. But to be fair, you say stuff like that, like
Yeah.
the teaching is better. But like you see people in unis all around the UK, they say like they get these foreign lecturers and they don't even understand what's going on half the time. Like you see these memes and stuff, but people don't just make memes randomly. Like these videos where they're like, you go into the lecture and the teacher is speaking like in a really strong accent.
Yeah.
Realistically, they don't come out of nowhere. Like that's actually based on a true experience somewhere. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff like you see.
I mean, it depends on the teacher, innit? Because me personally, right now, for my surgery rotation, our teacher is very, very strict, but it's like strict in a good way almost. Because it's like, you know, when you're taking a cold shower, you don't like the cold shower at first, but when you get out, you feel good, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
it was beneficial and you felt good afterwards. So that's kind of how it's like in our surgery rotation. Like he really asks us questions. He gives us a lot of work to do at home. And it's painful, but you know, once I'm done with it, you know, once I leave that classroom, I'm like, you know what, that was a good class. That was a good session. Every single day. There's not been a class where I've left and was like, I haven't learned anything. There's been a lot of things that I've learned every single time. So yeah, I agree. It definitely depends on the teacher.
Yeah, 100%. Because it usually like I said, some strict doctors, they make it rough for you. They make it really rough for you to even enjoy it, to even bother going.
Yeah.
Even like thing, but some doctors who are pretty strict, like we had a strict our gynecology doctor was pretty strict. She was very nice doctor.
Okay.
She was very, very nice. But once she flipped and it started to turn serious, it got serious. It got dark very quickly. So you had to always be prepared for that. So like I said, sometimes you just lose motivation from how strict someone is.
Yeah.
Like it just really depends though. Like it's about different types of people. You know, some people act well under pressure and some people don't. Some people don't have to
sometimes
remember.
some people prefer like relaxed teachers.
Yeah.
I know, Umar, you might be
100%.
one of
Yeah.
those, because then it
Umar-
allows you to do it at your own pace, innit? But what do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
No, well, you say that, but I'm a very laid back, as you can tell, relaxed person. But for me personally, when there's pressure there and I've got a deadline for something, that's when I work the best. I remember my neurology rotation with the head of neurology. She had a PhD, she'd studied in Germany, everything. She was really strict, but she was also a very good teacher. And I remember in the final, when the final happened, it was a 3-part final. It was case questions that we'd have to discuss with her, oral questions and written questions. And I think I got 38 out of 40 on that, and there was no cheating or anything involved, no using my phone. So I was glad that for that month rotation, she was able to put pressure on you, not too much, but a good amount where you'd be able to actually study something. Whilst I've had other rotations that are so relaxed,
Yeah.
you only go 2 times a week and you don't learn anything. So it's like you're here to study another day, so you need to.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, it depends on the person as well, innit? Like, you can have a strict teacher, yes, but it's like, are you gonna go home and study yourself?
Yeah.
That's the thing. It depends
You
on
know,
how
work,
motivated.
individual work ethic goes a long way. when
Yeah,
you're
that's
studying
something
abroad.
that I think you're more aligned on here. Like if
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
not motivated, that's probably one of the hardest parts, I would say, like motivating
is, yeah.
yourself, because realistically, what's stopping? Right, nothing's stopping you from waking up late, missing your class, and just sucking it off until like the last couple of weeks of the rotation. Nothing is really stopping you, because the unis will not force you to go to university because you're an adult. Like you should be.
Before, when we were in like semester 1 and 2, before it was like they never really used to do attendance, but now they do. Like
Yeah.
now they really care about it. And obviously for oral exams, they used to do orals like every single day, so you kind of had to show up for that as well. But you know, I feel like, me personally, some people say, oh well, I'm just gonna study at home because I've got the lecture recording and the lecture PowerPoints at home. But in my opinion, if you want to go far in medicine, and if you want to do well in med school, go to your classes and go to every single rotation, because you know that nothing beats, you know, in-person teaching than at home.
Yeah, that's. I know. Also, another thing is when you need to have that precursor knowledge before you even go to like the rotation. So you have to have a good understanding of it before you turn up. And if you've been skipping your classes, like to be fair, lectures is kind of like a different story. I don't really go to a lot of the lectures. I didn't used to go to a lot of the lectures, and the only reason was because I used to go there, and for 1 hour they just used to read what was on the board. And realistically, at home I could do the exact same thing in about 14-15 minutes. And I could get the same information as if I sat through for 1 hour. So for me, it was like a time thing. I'm not going to spend that time walking to uni, maybe like 20 minutes, walking home, another 20 minutes, spend 1 hour in the lecture just to get the same information I could have got in 15 minutes at home. And then the rest of that time, I could have made flashcards. But one thing that I did try and change after like the first couple of semesters was I was going to the lectures, but I was doing work in the lectures. So if I had if I had to stay at uni for whatever reason, like it was too constricted to like go home and I had to stay in uni, I would go to the lecture, but I would zone out from the lecture. I would just do all the work in the lecture. So that's like something that you need to balance, really. Like I don't know if you love.
I feel like medicine is one of those degrees, where people skip lectures to catch up on lectures.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you have. That's what. Yeah, actually, forget about UK prioritization. Have you ever had to do lecture prioritization? And you be like,
God,
if I go to
all
this
the
one,
time.
then I need to prepare for this one. So it's like when you skip lectures to prioritize another class. And let's be honest, some of these classes, like medical physics, is 2 credits. Are you really going to go to a lecture of that when you have like body systems the next day? You have like an anatomy and a physio oral. So it's kind of like weighing it up. Sometimes
I guess like that's when time management comes.
Yeah, time management. But the thing is,
when you're in that position, then you kind of have to do something.
that's the thing, because another thing is when you're out here, it's not just uni that you have to balance. You have everything else. So you go home. Maybe you have to cook. Maybe you have to clean your apartment. Maybe there's some issue with your apartment. Maybe the water's gone off. How many times did that happen to us in the first semester? How many times? What about the issue that we had with our boiler? We were getting woken up at 3 a.m. in the morning because the neighbors and it was leaking into their apartment. And then and we had I was so annoyed that day because we had a 9 a.m. class. That sort of stuff is stuff that you wouldn't probably get if you're like studying in the UK or somewhere else. Like when we're out here, it's like the degree is secondary to everything else that's going on in your life. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you could obviously move out for a UK uni, but you know, if you go to the local uni, then you have to stay at home, and then you don't really get these experiences.
That's the thing. Like, it's a lot of life experience that you get.
Yeah.
Because when you're out here, like, look, okay, I'm gonna be honest now. Like, the last time I really like spoke to my parents, like properly, was probably like 5 or 6 days ago. And the only reason for that is because they're busy right now at the moment doing their own thing. There's like a 3-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So when I'm free, then they're not free, and this and that. So it's something that if someone goes on here, then you have to sort it out. Like that other day, I was just driving. I had an issue with my my car. A tire got punctured. My dad's not gonna. I never even told my dad until a few days after I got it sorted. Because what was the point? What's he gonna do for me in that situation?
True.
Like,
they're just gonna get worried for
there's no point. Like, I'm gonna just get it sorted myself because I'm in that situation. So I did it. It was like 11 o'clock. I was on the side of the road at night, and they came sorted it. And then the next day, me and you went and we found a bazaar. Because we can speak enough Georgian, which is another skill that you have to learn here, then we spoke to the guys, they got it sorted within a day, and then that's it. Happy days, we got it sorted. But these are the types of life experiences that you get when you like come abroad or whatever it is.
It's kind of forced upon you, innit?
Yeah, like you're forced,
like good at life.
Yeah. Once you're put in that situation, you pretty much have to. I don't know. What's like one of the worst situations that you've been in that you've had to sort out?
Oh my god, it was. Oh, this is a really bad story. One time I was asleep, chilling, 5 a.m. Dead asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I hear, I'm dreaming, mind you. I'm hearing do on my front door.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I keep, but then I'm still sleeping. I'm still dreaming about it. And I'm like, I heard it loud enough to where I woke up.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? And I'm hearing banging on the door. I woke up, like I walk out. Imagine, I walk out. Okay, I open the door, and right in front of me is 10 police officers.
10.
7. It was more than 5, definitely. I don't remember.
And what time was this? Like 3
5
a.m.
a.m. 5 a.m.
Waking you up for Fajr, bro.
Bro, they might. They might have been. No, Fajr that time was later. But anyways, they're like, oh, there's a complaint that your downstairs, the people who live right under you, there's a leak into the apartment. I'm like, leak from who? From where? It can't be from us. And then all of a sudden, all the voices clear out, and then I hear one of the bathrooms, and it's just and it's just water. I just keep hearing water.
So the sink was on or something?
So I went in the bathroom, and I opened the door, and the whole bathroom is literally flooded.
Oh.
It was flooded, probably up to the ankle. Because the bathroom was like the bathroom has like a little step down.
Yeah, okay.
It was probably up to the ankle-ish. The water was full. Turns out one of the sink pipes had burst, so you can't even really close the sink because the pipe has burst. So I had to go and then the downstairs neighbor, she was losing her mind. She was like, oh, like why'd you not expect this to happen? I'm like, it's 5 a.m. bro. I'm asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that whole time, like the whole thing that happened with the police and everything, that was the first time I interacted with police ever in my life.
What
You
year
thought you
were
were
you
gonna
in?
get deported out of the country, bro.
I thought I was done, bro.
What year were you in when this happened?
This was maybe not 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
This was very recent.
This is the thing though. That's quite, like, okay, imagine if you were in that situation, but you were in your first year or your first semester here.
Oh
I would have been stressed.
Yeah.
Oh my
So this is
God.
another thing. Like, people think that it's easy to deal with situations like this, but until
not,
you've been in that situation, like, it's quite hard to.
Yeah.
Because now you probably know enough Georgian to converse with them, and the police officers probably spoke a bit of English. But imagine that, like, interacting with, you got to turn up and there's 7 foreign police officers at your door, something like that. Even when. I mean, it's not wrong to say, like, what, when I got pulled over by. I did.
Yeah.
It was a bit stupid. I went past a red light just because, like, I couldn't see it. So then they did like.
It was a minor mistake. It happens to
It happens in it because it wasn't like dangerous. Like, there were no cars. So no, like, I legit, I was just like, I just didn't see it. So like, when they pulled me over and they were like really like good, because that was my first interaction. Well, no, that was probably my third interaction with them.
Okay.
But that was like, they were really good in the way that they handled it. So this is somewhere like, until you're in that situation, you don't know how they're gonna be. So best thing to do is just like be in that situation. Like, don't put yourself in the situation with the police. You don't want to be involved with the police.
No,
but as much don't do that. But if it has to happen, then it has to happen. Like the first 2 months I was here, I lost my wallet on the metro, and I had to go to the police station and do an interview, and like they had to get a translator, and they sorted it all out for me, and they were really nice about that. And that was like the first experience that I had, and I was like, I've never had to do this in the UK, never mind here.
No, but it's good because in the eventuality or wherever, if we have to go abroad to a different country after we graduate, we've
Yeah.
got these little
Yeah,
experiences. Maybe not the language issues, because I assume they speak English in America and Australia.
Yeah.
Like these little things with landlords and paying bills and whatever.
100%,
What you've already got that experience.
Yeah.
You've been in Ukraine and Georgia, me as well.
Yeah.
So
And UK.
and
uni.
UK.
Yeah.
So we've been adding up all these little experiences. So regardless of where you end up, we've got some type of experience that
Yeah.
some people in the UK might not have. Obviously, they've got their own issues as well, but we've got different issues here.
And I'm gonna drop a bit of Islamic law here as well. But when you ask Allah, like, please give me strength or make me a good doctor. He's gonna give you opportunities to become strong. He's not just gonna make you strong like overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's gonna give you problems for you to solve,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you're gonna learn stuff from it.
That's why I like you. You're like Ronnie Coleman now.
No, but do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100% you're right, yeah.
Yeah, because you only learn it from being in that position.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like anything bad that happens over here, first of all, Allah's not going to give you stuff that you can't bear, like where you can't handle in it. So obviously, if something happens, you know that you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you know that you're going to probably learn something from this as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for weeks straight, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, because
After
you think every time
I
you're
was so terrified of sleeping. I would I would wake up exactly I would sleep at like 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep like earlier. I'd be in bed from like 11, but I couldn't sleep until 2. And then I would wake up at 5. I always wake up at 5 for some reason.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up for 5 until slowly I got used to it and I was like,
it's
fine.
because that was how we were asleep as well.
yeah.
It was, and when they were walking on the door, like the way that, because these doors are heavy, when they walk on these doors, you hear it like through the whole apartment.
loud,
I was on the other side of the apartment that we had at that time. It was so loud, like it's
scary, man.
crazy, like the way that they wake you up.
Last week, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, which isn't late. I think I was making breakfast or something. They were knocking on my door, slamming it. I don't know what's going on here. I was so scared. I took my slippers off. I was slowly walking to look through the hole, and it was a gas guy.
Okay.
I think they do some type of work or something.
Yeah. Why is that a thing here? Yeah, where it's just like a standard, like you can see they don't have a tone in their knock. Like they could just they could just be doing like a survey or something.
But
And
these
they
doors
walk-
are big boy.
No, but
metal doors
they walk with like this,
Yeah,
be like
yeah.
the Donkey Kong punching the door, yeah, and it's so loud, like you don't need to be like you could do a simple knock, but maybe it's because maybe they didn't hear.
Maybe because it's from their experience as well. Like they probably knocked like slowly so many times and no one's probably answered.
Yeah, you know
so
what?
they just
I think
skip
that-
it.
You know what's a good
just bang it
investment?
really
You know
hard.
what I'm gonna say is a good investment for students that are here.
Doorbell.
Get a ring doorbell, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
100%.
but even then, I feel like they're still gonna just walk because it's easier.
All
No, but
these,
then, you know what he
I
said-
feel like everyone's just gonna start spamming your doorbell.
You know
Yeah.
what he said to me, the gas guy?
What?
He couldn't. He was speaking in Georgian, which obviously standard. I can't. My Georgian's not as good as you lot. So I gave him my phone, and he typed in a message. He goes, who's the owner of this apartment? I thought for a second. I go, well, I paid the rent. I paid the bills. He said, what's the surname of the owner?
Yeah.
I said my surname. I'm not going to say it here. And he goes, no. Oh, what else going on here? I go, you know what? I'm just going to ring my landlord, and he can speak to him. So I rang my landlord, sorted, and then I just go back to sleep. I don't know what's going on. Well, I was so scared.
Oh,
Yeah,
to
it's
be-
scary, man.
Yeah, to be fair, like some sort of thing, like if you got a good enough, like my landlord, he never like he hasn't come to check the apartment for like 6 or 7 months. But he like the other day he just messaged me randomly and he was like, oh yeah, 15 minutes, this guy's gonna come from the bank, look at your apartment. I was like, why? He's like, oh, I'm taking out a loan and they just need to make sure that I have the apartment in it. It's like to show that they got a way of paying it back. So the guy came, he was speaking, he just took some pictures of my apartment, he got me to sign the thing. Well, stuff like that, like if that happened in the first semester, I'd probably be like, I'd probably be like, oh, like, I don't even speak like Georgian, like what am I meant to do, this and that. But now it's like kind of right. Just
But I think having a good landlord is
Yeah.
really
So
essential.
it goes a long way.
It's a
definitely.
blessing, bro.
It's
Yeah,
like I know some
100%.
people have had issues, but
Yeah.
me, no, it's like, I needed a new fridge. I got a new fridge. I needed a new washing machine.
Yeah.
My boiler's still a bit dodgy. I get hot and cold water, but that's I can live with that.
You can live with that.
I
you
can
can
live with
handle
that. So I'm happy as well.
Yeah, having a good landlord makes your life so much
Yeah.
easier. It makes your life so much easier.
yeah, there's probably some good advice in it to end this
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
on. We've been going for a while, huh?
I know.
I think we're going for like 40 minutes.
No,
Oh,
one last thing I just wanted to touch up on is what's the process for like going to Qatar, for example, because you're from
Yeah.
Qatar, right?
Yeah.
So just for anyone who's probably looking at other options, if you just want to lay out the blueprint of going to Qatar.
Yeah.
After graduation.
So in Qatar, where I reside, the process is actually pretty streamlined. It's almost kind of like an American. It's almost like America. It's very streamlined. It's a very direct process. So all you gotta realistically do is there's an exam called the IFOM, right? And IFOM it comes from like it's kind of like the USMLE Step 2 sister.
Okay.
It's like the much easier,
Is it just one exam or?
It's just one exam.
Okay.
So you have two ways of getting in. You have two ways of getting in. You either do Step 2, so you either do Step 2 CK, or you do the IFOM. You can do either or. However, from what I've heard, I'm not too sure about this, but from what I've heard is they prefer for you to do the IFOM because the IFOM is more it's like more local to them. It's like their exam kind of.
Right. Okay.
If you do this, if you do the steps, they'll feel like he has a way out kind of. You know
but wouldn't that like make your application look good though?
It should make it look good theoretically, yeah. But for them, they believe like, why would you do this USMLE Step 1 and Step 2 and get a decent score on them and come to Qatar?
And then come to
So
I
they
mean,
wanna
well, you're
go to the
Qatari.
US? Yeah, huh?
Because you're Qatari, you want to go back to your country, no?
No, I'm not Qatari. I'm Sudani.
Oh, as in like, you live in Qatar,
I live
yeah,
in Qatar, yeah. I live in Qatar, but I guess, yeah, you want to say you want to go there, but the quality, like, it's a good program. From I went there, I did a 2-month observership over there.
Okay.
But the observation was very hands-on. So I spent 2 months there, and the quality of learning is very, very high. And to be fair, the doctors and everyone was very, very nice. In general, it was a very streamlined process. Like we had the lectures, we had things. I did my rotations in internal. I did internal and orthopedics.
Okay.
Right, and I did emergency as well. So it was about 3 weeks each-ish.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot, but yeah. So like I was saying, the IFOM is the main exam you need to do. You need to get a score of like 62. I think it's out of 100.
Okay.
62 to do the internship over there. So the internship over there is not like the internship in the rest of the Middle East. Most of the UAE and Saudi.
Is it kind of like the foundation training in the UK?
No, it's an internship. It's an unpaid internship. It's
Unpaid,
not foundation
okay,
training.
okay.
It's an unpaid internship. You don't have a job. It's not a job.
So what, like a year long? Just
It's a year-long
like,
internship.
Okay.
It's a straight up internship. Like it's not FY1. I'm pretty sure if you do the internship, you can skip FY1, but I'm not too sure about that.
Okay.
I think it's something along
Just
those
say
lines.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
You can say
Allegedly.
anything.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Everything I say is allegedly.
Then you can say whatever.
Yeah. So you have to do the from what I've heard as well, they also prefer for you to do the internship in Qatar if you want to apply to the residency in Qatar.
Right.
But how the residency works is over there is everyone's broken down into 3 classes of people. The first person are the people who graduated in Qatar. So the Qataris are the people who graduated in universities in Qatar. So there's 2 medical universities in Qatar. So those are the first people. So say out of all the spots in the residency, they get
prioritized.
they prioritize. They get everything,
Okay.
right? The second ones are the Qataris, but who studied abroad.
Okay.
So Qatari IMGs.
So would
basically.
you fall into that
No,
bracket?
I would fall into the third bracket, which is I'm a Qatari resident,
Yeah.
but I'm an IMG. So I'm talking about Qataris who are Qatari,
Oh,
but they
okay,
studied
okay,
abroad.
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are the second list of people. Listen, all of Qataris are like, it's not that many people, so it's probably very little now anyways. But they get the second. I think they get the second. All the options. There's the second people, and then the third people is everyone. So all the IMGs, everyone in the world, they get those basically the scraps at the end.
Okay.
But to be fair, I was checking it the other day, and the opportunities weren't that bad. So internal medicine, I think it opens with 50 spots in Qatar. It
Right.
opens but after everyone gets their pick, you're left with like 20. I checked for IMGs, 20 spots is a bit small.
It's
rough.
That's really bad.
It's rough. Psychiatry, I remember it was 4. Plastic surgery, it was 1. One spot. One spot. What else do I remember? Cardiothoracic, I think they had no one match. I think it was also 1 spot. And and also from what I've heard as well, this is all alleged, they didn't take anyone who doesn't have a QID, like a Qatari
What's
ID.
that?
So
Oh, okay.
a Qatari ID card. So they didn't take anyone who's from this match, at least. They didn't take anyone who's from outside. But I think Qatar is I would say it's more of a stepping stone. You wouldn't want to, in my opinion at least, you shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't say this, because they might see the interview when I apply. And they're like, yo, what's going on?
You can be careful, bro.
It's all Listen, it's all alleged. In my opinion, look, realistically, the Middle East is very good, lifestyle is very good. Like the starting salary for a resident over there is like 15 to 20,000 riyals. That's for a normal resident. That's how much is that?
How many lorries are?
How much lorry is that?
How many dollars is it?
How many dollars
Oh,
is
yeah.
better? How many dollars? It is probably $6,000. $6,000.
What, a year?
No, a
No, a
month,
month.
innit?
A month,
A
innit?
month.
Well, that's chilling. That's $72,000 a
That's-
year,
that's
which is
about
like what,
it. Yeah,
60 grand?
it's like pretty decent. Like it's pretty like okay. Of course, I think if you do the harder, the crazy residencies, you get paid more probably as a resident. But yeah, it's very similar to America. It's very streamlined. You finish your residency, you become a specialist. After you become a specialist, you do your fellowship. Then after a few years, you become a consultant. It's pretty similar to America. It's not like the UK where there's a bottleneck every single step of the way, or Australia.
No,
is the
but
same.
the thing what I've heard is it's like it's really hard to get into these countries, especially in the Gulf.
Yeah.
If you're just like fresh out of medical school, you need to get your training somewhere else, like either UK or USA or whatever.
Yeah.
Become like a specialist and then go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how true is that? Like,
It's very true, but it's not for the reason you think. It's not about they'll. If you want to make the most, okay, let's talk money here.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm listening now.
Yeah. Let's talk money. Realistically, right? If you're a person who a British person with a British passport, for example, right? And you do your practice all in the UK.
Okay.
You do everything in the UK.
Yeah.
You become a consultant in the UK, however long it takes.
Yeah.
You're about 50 at this point.
Yeah. No, you got 35, 40, no problem.
The
Okay,
UK,
that's still
and you
quite
come
a
to
long
the,
time.
and you come to the Middle East, you are living the rest of your life amazing, beautiful, money. However, this is all Reddit.
Okay.
Alleged. All of this is alleged. What I've heard is people, once they finish their residency, or they finish their residencies in the Middle East, they're kind of hard out of luck to kind of train anywhere else, except the US really, because the US and Qatar are very close. Their medical systems are very close to each other. So they have a certain name of the accreditation, like whatever. It's like apparently you can transfer, but I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, so in Qatar, starting your career out there, it kind of just like stops you because you're not guaranteed to become a specialist.
Okay.
You only become a specialist if they want you to become a specialist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You kind of don't have a thing.
So
but
you
I'm sure
could be stuck at like.
yeah, you could be
okay.
like you could be stuck as a specialist, or maybe you can't do the fellowship. Maybe after you finish your residency, they're like, we found better options. You know, you can you can dip. So that's why I say low key. If you do hypothetically, allegedly, get put in Qatar, or you get accepted into theoretically, okay, get accepted. You should always have a backup plan. That's big.
100%.
That's big for me.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. You always have to have a backup plan. Like Qatar for me right now is in the back pocket. Do the exam. The exam's not too tough as well. The exam is basically step 2 CK, but just the basic science is part of it. So it's a very direct, like it's like step 2. I'm not sure. Have you done step 2 like MBAs?
No. I'm just preparing for step 1 now.
Yeah. So in generally speaking, it's just very short sentences and just management, medication, stuff like that. That's it. The exam itself is not tough.
Okay.
If you want to get into the residency, you have to get proper high scores, 85 and above, which is pretty hard. To get into the internship, it's 60. To get accepted into the residency, it's 70.
Crazy.
So you have to get a pretty high score because it's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Because you're competing with all the people who graduated there and everything. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Zain. And just as a final thing, just from everyone, what country do you think is the best option for IMGs at this point? In your opinion, obviously there's not a right answer. Do you think USA is a good option, Qatar or Australia?
Let's do it. Make it interesting. You say the country, then you just explain it in one word because we're gonna get sidetracked otherwise. So you say it. So yeah, you can. So what was the question again? So
yeah, which one do you think is the best option for IMGs? Personally, I think USA. One word, I don't know. I'm just gonna say transferable skills or something, because if you do step 1, if you do step 2, and that basically means that you got the medical knowledge in your pocket and you know everything, and that could probably open a lot more doors for you. So that's what I'm saying. USA.
Umar, what do you think?
What do I think?
I've got my answer, but you can go.
Well, I went on ChatGPT that day and I asked them, and they said go to Maldives. So I'm going to say Maldives, and my word is going to be weather.
Ooh,
And
that's a
now
good one.
they're
That's a
gonna
good
see
one.
that,
Yeah.
and they're gonna give me a spot now.
Maldives with 2 people that live in it, yeah?
Yeah, if anyone from the Maldives is watching this, then message
What are the 2
Umar.
people who live in the Maldives?
And if anyone from USA is watching this, then message me.
But I want UK. Give me UK first, please.
Well, that's not happening, bro. That's not happening.
Inshallah.
Right.
Inshallah. Anyway,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
Abdul-Aziz.
So what is this anywhere like enter? or-
Anywhere.
Yeah, anyway.
That's the best.
Oh well, he's already said America, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Monaco.
Ooh, that is also a good
Monaco, and because of freedom.
freedom.
Because that's like Monaco is like where a lot of like the rich,
The
like a
tax-free-
lot of
But I heard
athletes,
Germany
rich
is
people.
good. But you need to know the
You
language.
need to know the language. Yeah.
Your bottleneck
I mean,
is
I guess
language.
if you lock in now, you could eventually
Yeah.
learn the language.
I live in Georgia and I don't even speak Georgian.
No, but
I
like
need to
for
learn
German,
German.
because it's a big language, there's
German
more
language.
resources out there.
I can
yeah.
speak German.
It's a you have
Well,
to speak on a
say
C1.
say one
Say
sentence in
something.
German.
Sprachen Sie Deutsch?
What is
Whoa,
that? Who's
mashallah, the guys.
Who's that?
Do you speak? Do
On
you
the,
speak
on the next episode,
I need a translation now.
on the next episode, we'll tell you the translation.
Yeah, but in my opinion, it's Australia. Objectively.
Australia.
Objectivity. That's my word. That's my one word.
Yeah, all right.
I think it's the best one.
No,
Yeah.
his word is allegedly.
That's one. That's one.
Anyway, that's all for today's episode. Thank you very much for Abdul-Aziz, Umar, and Zain for coming on.
Thank you for
I
having
really
us.
appreciate it. And if you liked the episode, drop a comment, like, subscribe, wherever you're watching it on. And see you guys in the next episode.